The best salsa ever with those.
Now, was it really, really hot?
You know what? It was pretty. They were pretty hot, but everything was locally grown in that salsa. The tomatoes and the onions and even the garlic and your peppers.
Makes it so much better. Now, if you get a little sweat behind the back of the hair on the neck, then you know it's hot.
It's really true. When you need a box of Kleenex to eat your salsa,
that's right.
You know you've had enough.
Good stuff. Yeah.
That was good. Thank you, Gary. All right, let's talk about food. So let's invite you to a special dinner this weekend. It features one special ingredient in every single dish, the same ingredient. Monika Sudakov stopped by with a preview of her famous chocolate nights. First, let's ask, is white chocolate really chocolate? Chef Monika, the answer is...
No.
Oh, well, then there goes the whole segment.
Well, it's cocoa butter.
Cocoa
butter with milk and sugar and all kinds of goodies in there.
It tastes good.
I happen to love white chocolate. I know it's a sin and a crime, but I love it. So, okay, so we're actually going to pair it with chicken, which I know sounds a little kooky, but you know how unusual I like to be in the kitchen,
I know. So this is savory. It's not sweet, is it?
It's sweet and savory.
Okay.
And I added the goat cheese at the end and for the reason of making it a little bit more savory as opposed to sweet. So
I'm just going to try a little taste.
Go for it. So historically speaking, chocolate was not a sweet. It was actually utilized for savory cooking as a balance for chilies in Mayan and Aztec culture. So that's kind of where the whole theme for this comes from. So what I've got here is good old butter, lots of butter, and it's sizzling there. So we've got a little chicken breast. Toss that in the pan here. And that's bubbling away. I just patted that dry with a little paper towel so that it sears nicely, and then add a little flour to coat it. That's
a good tip. When meat is wet, it does not want to saute, does it?
It just, all that water goes in there, it bubbles a little, and then it just goes flat.
So wipe it down.
Wipe it down, absolutely. So we'd sear that off on both sides, add a little bit of onions that I diced up. Okay. Nice little sweet onion.
Are these your own recipes?
Yes, they are.
Okay, good. As always, right?
As always. Well, except for maybe Julia Child.
Oh, now you can't tamper with that.
No, although I did a little, but we won't tell. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit of garlic in there, a lot of bit of garlic. That's for your savory component. And actually, because garlic is loaded with a lot of natural sugars, the sweetness will come out in there, so it actually does sort of pair well with the chocolate. And then for spices here, we've got a little herbe de Provence, which of course you know is my favorite, and a little bay leaf, just to give it a little oomph there. Nice. Fresh cracked pepper. And then a little bit of salt, and this is actually some sea salt, and I'm going to use that here just to give it a little boom.
This is where most chefs or cooks would end, but no. When you go to the special Monika dinners at Chestnut Street Inn this weekend...
Well, first we're going to add booze to it.
And chocolate?
I know.
Oh,
it's a match made in heaven.
It's some kind of paradise,
I tell ya. So we're going to go ahead and toss in some. This is actually Prosecco. You could use champagne, you could use sparkling wine, whatever you prefer. Okay. So that would get covered and cooked down for about 45 minutes until it's nice and braised, nice and tender. Okay. And then, at the very end, we would go ahead and add in our white chocolate chips just till they melt in there.
You're going to do that now? Okay. Now, this would be cooked down because, just to show you this again, the finished product, see, we've got a nice, look how nice and thick that is.
And what I actually did at the end, after I added the white chocolate, and I added a little bit of goat cheese, and the goat cheese is really just to kind of give that balance for the sweet, the savory, and a little tiny pinch of heavy cream. Okay. And then I actually strained the sauce because I didn't want the bay leaves and all those other little flecks in there. I wanted it to have this sort of nice white color to it. So that's what I'm doing with it.
And your chicken is really good, too.
This is organic chicken from Meadow Haven Organic Farm.
Excellent.
And their chicken is unlike anything on the planet.
So this is your entree?
Yes.
For this weekend?
Correct. And it's going to be served with a little mascarpone risotto, which I know sounds weird. Chocolate mascarpone. You got to have chocolates in every course.
Perfect. Thank you, Monika. Chocolate in every course. That's chocolate night. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 6:30 each night. Pick your night and call Chestnut Street Inn for a reservation. And you really need to do that because these dinners fill up fast out there. Coming up next, let's go to Camp K9, keeping your four-legged friend entertained and pampered while you're at work. Next on PSL.
Upper 70s and lower 80s as daytime highs today. Going to feel absolutely fantastic out there with comfortable dew point values running below that magical 60-degree mark just about all day long. 59 degrees our low tonight with increasing clouds, near normal low temperatures tonight despite the increase in cloud cover. Tomorrow expected to be a little bit on the rainy side, mainly I'd say during the early morning off to the south of the Quad Cities metro area. So what that means is some much needed relief from the dry weather we'd have been experiencing for the last few weeks. But a little bit too little too late here, as we're obviously running deficits and just a little rain's not going to help us. But highs going to be in the upper 80s to lower 90s by the end of the week. Another chance of rainfall arrives Saturday and Sunday, this time by a cold front that'll drive our highs from that 90-degree mark all the way down into the upper 70s by next Monday.
First Alert meteorologist Kevin Phelps here, continuing to answer questions from you, the viewers, as we head into the summer months. And one question that we have had quite often here over the past few weeks is, why have we seen so many nighttime storms? Well, we call these storms MCSs, or mesoscale convective systems, that have been moving through our area. And these storms do like to form near fronts, mainly in eastern Nebraska, and then they're going to start working their way towards warm sectors, which so far for our late spring and early summer months, that warm sector has been in northern Missouri. And these are really just miniature storm systems. Now, as we take a look at an example, we'll see these showers and storms begin to erupt late afternoon, early evening, where we get the prime daytime heating. And eventually, once we continue to advance in the evening,